I think I will just. Hello, everybody.
We bid thee welcome to our court.
Welcome to yes. And I've got to work these captions correctly so that we don't get our mix up here. Well, actually, we're going to start with this one. Go. All right. I begin now. Why, look now how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. There is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet you cannot make it speak. Splud, do you think I'm easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Welcome to Shakespeare's birthday celebration on the Bill Shipper and Dances with Words show. We have with us a special guest, Janine Smith from Shakespeare for All Ages, as well as Richard Lederer, a frequent guest on
Emphasis on freak. And
freak.
Bill, I just want to tell you right now, you're such a modest guy. You've got me in the big picture and you two in the smaller. With what you just did, you want the big picture now. Right?
There we go.
That's a little more equal, right?
The three of us.
Remember, as was written, all men are cremated equal. Just keep that in mind.
Oh, that comment burns me up.
Yes.
So Rich, that was my introduction to this. Why don't you give us your introduction to
our Shakespeare? Delighted I am one of the world's great bardographers. You can imagine what a man like Shakespeare, the greatest achievement in language ever, the greatest achievement in dramaturgy, more than 4 times more performed than any other playwright. Number 2, incidentally, is Neil Simon of interest, and he's had a lot less time to do it. But Cole Porter, or is it Pole Quarter? No. It's Cole Porter, wrote for Kiss Me Kate, based on The Shaming of the Shrew. The Taming of the Shrew. I am just spoonerizing all over the place. And as everybody knows, my spoonerisms always have points to them. They're forkerisms. But he wrote a song in which some Brooklyn kind of people, and I didn't grow up that far from there in Philadelphia, sing the following song. And I'll try to do it in their accent, Brush Up Your Shakespeare. And Bill took that, Dances with Words, brushes up on Shakespeare. So these 2 guys come out, and here's what they sing. Now, there are some really sexist lines in there. If she fights when you're her clothes you are mussing, what her clothes much ado about nothing. Well, that's not in here but other things like that, it was just a different age. So here we go. The girls today in society go for classical poetry. So to win their hearts, one must quote with ease Aeschylus and Euripides. But the poet of them all, who will stardom simply raven, is the poet people call the Bard of Stratford-on-Avon. Tink, brush up your Shakespeare. Start quoting him now. Notice I'm dropping my R's, so I'm Richard Lederer. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow. Just to claim a few lines from Othello, and they'll think you're a hell of a fella. If your blonde won't respond when you flatter her, tell her what Tony told Cleopatra. With the wife of the British ambassador, try a crack out of Troilus and Cressida. brush up your Shakespeare, and they'll all kowtow. Forsooth, they'll all kowtow. Odds bodkins, all kowtow.
Beautiful.
The sounds of two hands clapping.
Oh, it woke someone up. It woke someone up.
What
Well,
angel?
she's pretty woke. That woke. Sorry, go ahead.
What angel wakes me from my flowery bed? I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again. Mine ears much enamored of thy note, and mine eyes enthralled to thy shape, and thy fair virtues force perforce doth move me on the first view to say, to swear I love thee. Out of this wood do not desire to go. Thou shalt remain here whether thou wilt or no. I am a spirit of no common rate. The summer still doth tend upon my state, and I do love thee. Therefore, go with me. I'll give thee fairies to attend on thee, and they shall fetch thee jewels from the deep, and sing while thou on pressed flowers dost sleep. And I shall purge thy mortal grossness so that thou shalt like an airy spirit go. Peace blossom, cobweb, moth, and mustard seed. Be kind and courteous to this gentleman. Hop in his walks and gambol in his eyes. Feed him on apricots and dewberries, with purple grapes, green figs, and mulberries. The honey bags steal from the humble bees, and for night tapers crop their waxen thighs, and light them at the fiery glowworm's eyes, to have my love to bed and to arise, and pluck the wings from painted butterflies, to fan the moonbeams from his sleeping eyes. Nod to him, elves, and give him courtesies. Come, wait upon him, lead him to my bower. The moon, methinks, looks with a watery eye, and while she weeps, weeps every little flower, lamenting some enforced chastity. Tie up my lover's tongue, bring him silently.
Brava, brava. That's Janine Smith joining us from Shakespeare for All Stages. And if you're just joining us, it's the Bill Shipper Show with the Dances with Words focus and Rich Lederer and our special guest, Janine Smith, to celebrate Shakespeare's birthday. Happy birthday to... Oh, that's not Elizabethan song, but we do have Elizabethan era songs and information about Shakespeare and language. And Rich, you have quite the costume on, I say.
Well, thank you very much. And with it goes a lot of writing about Shakespeare. So if I may mention, if you would like just about 4,000 words of mine about the Bard, just email me at, you'll see it up in the lower left, Richard H. Lederer. You need that H in there for Henry. Richard H. Lederer at gmail.com. And I will attach it within a day or two. Promise.
I've got, yes. And by the way, and welcome to all who are coming on. Please do put your say hello in the chat, and also put your questions in that chat. We want this to have be interactive, and particularly at the end, if you have some questions about Shakespeare or language or anything related, Richard Lederer would love to address those. So start thinking about that and putting it in. And tell us about the Bard.
Yeah, actually, from Mike there, very imaginative. The past tense of William Shakespeare is what I was Shakespeared. And actually, that's a little bit of a clue as to how he got his name. And the most common type of name, and there are many, but by far, second is patronymics like O'Reilly, for example, and Macbeth. but the most common is occupational. So my name, Lederer, leather worker, Lederhosen, ER, one who sells or crafts or works in it or whatever. And apparently, Willie Wigglestaff, as he is sometimes called by students in jest, it had a military ancestor who shook a spear. So literally, it's what it says, Shakespeare. Well, we don't have a lot of information about his life. Back then, there wouldn't be. But from the municipal records in the English village of Stratford-upon-Avon in the county of Warwickshire, it appears as though he was born on April 23rd, 1564. We do have the baptismal registry statement at April 26th. The custom then was you would be entered into the baptismal registry 3 days after birth. So we think it's the 23rd. And that works out well for two reasons. Number one, the 23rd is the birthday of St. George, the patron saint of England, from Angleland, the Angles, who brought over the language to what was then Britannia in centuries and centuries ago. And second, it is his death day. He actually died, shuffled off his mortal coil on the April 23rd, 52 years later. So he lived exactly 52 years, which was pretty good for that time. And time has proven the truth of what Shakespeare's contemporary Ben Jonson, without an H, said of him. He was not of an age, but for all time. And later, when I come in, I will talk about how he is alive and well and living on our tongues. And again, special thanks to Bill for keeping this alive. And Janine, as you do in your way with the acting, we have the Globe Theater here that does at least 4 productions a year. And that's great because his language, unfortunately, becomes increasingly inaccessible to many people. The plays have to be, well, in a sense, translated. And only 1 out of 8 colleges and universities in the US of A require the teaching of at least one Shakespeare play, only 1 out of 8, for their English majors. I hope you got that last prepositional phrase, for their English majors. So interesting, and we're keeping them alive here with you too.
Wow. No, that was me interrupting there saying, wow. I hadn't
No,
realized
I love that. Plus the fact that wow is a palindrome and each letter is palindromic. I admire such things.
And upside down, it is Mom.
Coming up.
Well, yes. Yeah, so I'm sure my mom's watching. And when my mom, after my mom gave birth to me, I was a little tiny boy. And
I can't believe that.
Yes, I was at one point there.
Now I'm just kind of a big boy.
Now I'm a big tiny boy. From 12th night. When that I was a little tiny boy with a hay for the wind and the rain, the foolish thing was but a toy, for the rain it raineth every day with a high ho, the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came to a man's estate with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, against thieves and knaves men shut their gate, for the rain it raineth every day with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day. When I came alas to why with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, swaggering never could I thrive with the rain it raineth every day with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain it raineth every day with a hey-ho, for the wind and the rain, for the rain, it raineth every day.
Just a
Ooh.
few comments, my friend. Number
Yes.
one, Janine, modesty not only runs in your
Ah,
family, it gallops because, again, that wonderful song, but Bill made himself even tinier.
I
Bill,
need
I'm not going to do this anymore, but
I need to switch that there. Oh man,
yeah,
I need a producer. Let me put a
at least
job description out there. Hiring producer, needing a producer that
at
can
least
do
take
things right.
1/3 of the screen. Darn it, I'm
For
not.
the there.
But
All right, let me.
Bill,
I'll do the oh, no. Let's see.
nope, now
I'm
you're
loving this, but it's I have to remember to do it
no, it's
with
fine.
a hey ho, the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day.
Reminds me of the biblical verse that's become a poem. The rain it raineth on the just, but also on the unjust fella, but mostly on the just because the unjust steals the just umbrella. And at the beginning, when I did brush up on your Shakespeare, start quoting him now, uh, just he is Shakespeare so much the warp and woof of our lives. So to take another poem, 'twas in a restaurant they met, Romeo and Juliet. Let me just see. But he couldn't pay the debt, so Romeo owed what Juliet. And everybody understands that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've got a picture of Shakespeare to put up, Bill. Do you easily, or was it in our invite? Yes, it was.
You know,
But
yeah.
how many authors can you identify just by their picture? Now, I would say Mark Twain, who was so colorful looking. Probably Ernest Hemingway, and Simone and I really enjoyed that PBS series recently, 3 2-hour Ken Burns. But beyond that, Jane Austen, maybe if you're a fan, but not many. But Shakespeare, this is a man who shuffled off his mortal coil more than 400 years ago, 1616, and we know those pictures. Only one of which was actually done during his lifetime. The most famous was done when the folio came out after, but just to point that out.
Well, let me take a second here to say hi to those that have put some comments in. Hi, Mike. Of course, Mike with the Rich already talked about your comments. Good to see you, Mike. And Alexander, thanks for joining on. And Jim, good to see you again, Jim. So all you others out there, please say hi and let us know that you're there and say hello. And that so that song I did was from 12th Night. There's a lot of music in 12th Night.
Yeah.
Janine, would you sing us a song from 12th Night now?
And it does begin, if I may say, with "If music be the food of love, play on." Then that's Count Orsino, and the one who is kind of pursuing Viola. So yes, Janine, please.
Well, would you have a love song or a song of good life?
What do you think, Rich? What do you think, Toby?
Wait a minute.
We have, folks, I want to let you know, we have this worked out to a smooth production. And I want to say hi, Ken. And Ken, Ken is mentioned. Ken picked me up that I missed a verse. Right. It's the play is done verse, which I'm going to hold off till the end.
A love song, a love song.
A love song.
A love song, a love song.
All right, let's take it from the top.
Okay.
Hey, Janine, could you do us a song?
Do you have a love song or a song of good life?
Well, they're kind of the same, but a love song, a love song.
Yes, because I don't care for a good life. Nah.
All right, good
I
choice.
care not.
Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay until your true love's coming. Oh, stay until your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low. Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journeys end at lovers' meeting. Every wise man's son doth know. Oh, what is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Oh, what is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter. Present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure. In delay Useless stuff will not endure.
A mellifluous voice, as I am a true knight.
A contagious breath.
A very sweet and contagious in faith.
To hear by the nose, it is dulcet in contagion. Well, my God, this is such a musical family, and at least on my screen, I'm surrounded by them. I am one that I don't know my brass from my oboe, and I have Van Gogh's ear for music, but it's just great to be surrounded by such talent. We know a word that began in Matthew, the parable of the talents, way, way back.
Mm-hmm. All right, and just saying hi again now to Victoria came on. Thanks, Victoria. I love the selection of Titania's speech. Good. But we're given Titania was speaking to a person with the head of an ass. To whom were you directing your speech?
That's for me to know.
Aha, and a brava. So let's go. And I'm going to mark this big screen again, and we'll go to Rich.
Words.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned about Shakespeare's plays being just so continuously produced she's had its up and downs, but it's never down and out with that guy. And but an oft neglected aspect of William Shakespeare's genius is that his words as well as his works are not just for an age but for all time. He was quite simply the greatest word maker ever in any language. Of his 20,138 what we call lamata or dictionary headwords, 8.5% had never appeared before, meaning they are first citations in the OED, the Oxford English Dictionary, which is an etymological dictionary and traces words back to their first use and then beyond. And again, more than 1,700 of his words are original. Amazing. And yet people understood them. And back then they really did understand them, and they had far less education than we did. So I am very happy again to send this to you. You do see my email address. Happy to answer any of your questions on language, at least try to. And just to give you a few of the 1,700, aerial, A-E-R-I-A-L, auspicious, bedroom. What? What did they call it before that? Bedroom. Bump. Are you kidding? There was not the word bump until Shakespeare? That is correct. And then fancier words such as castigate, dishearten, dwindle, and so on. Frugal, hurry, Hurry. That's Shakespeare. And first OED citation, indistinguishable. And then if you add his compounds, for example, meaning two words or more, I'll just go with the start of the alphabet. Bareface, civil tongue, cold comfort, eyesore, as in EYE, faint-hearted, fancy-free, foregone conclusion, father time, foul play and fair play, green-eyed, half-cocked, as in a weapon, gun, and so on. And that's just to H, hearts, content, heartsick, high time, hot-blooded, and that's just to H. And so you get the idea. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about phrases, but if you want my material on Shakespeare, including the authorship controversy, which will be coming up, just email me. And Bill, help me out. I'm seeing private chat to the left that's on top of my email address, but is that for everyone?
But it's there, and you can shrink that. That'll confuse you. Yes.
No, I don't care about. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Your email address is there. Nobody else sees that. That's why it's a private chat, just with just the three of us.
Yeah, and it says good going. Thank you. Oh,
it's a peek backstage.
Host, you're not. How do I shrink that?
You just push the down arrow. Push the down arrow.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yes, yes, folks, we are thrilled and really blessed to have Richard here because he brings the technology of the 16th century to our program here right now.
Yes, my
And
name is Richard Luddite, not Lederer.
all right, is there more? Did we interrupt, or is a
No, no, no. That would be it. Um, uh, no, I mean, of course, I've got a lot more, but that's
yes? We
enough
could have
on the individual words, and we'll go to the phrases later on.
Yes, yes. Well, I've some of those new words. I've been practicing how to use some of those words, like castigate. That's a very complicated word there. Well, I was outside repairing my fence, and I cast a gate aside when it fell off the hinges. I think that's probably how it goes.
Right.
But Peggy Ramsey would sing it that way. I think I do the harmonica on this one. The harmonica. This is, by the way, this is a harmonica from the Elizabethan period, and I do specialize in that kind of music because I have a lot of broke instruments all over my studio here. I haven't repaired them yet. Now I'm going to sing a song, and I will go big. We're going big, folks. And hello to Susan, Dr. Susan. Impressive that Walt Whitman had the second largest vocabulary after Shakespeare. Yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
Impressive facts.
I'm not so sure. I'd have to check that.
Ah, he's going to do some fact checking while I sing.
Interesting. Leaves of grass. No, I can't do it while we're here. It would be accurate. That's okay.
Leaves and grass. Yes, so I was out in the yard with my
Leaves of
broken
grass,
fence
yeah.
and did some leaves and grass there. That's right.
Well, that was a good Whitman sampler there from that listener. So thank you.
Yeah, so while we're on the fence outside and all my yard work like that, I want to let you know I put some organic material around all the bushes so they wouldn't dry out. I'm not sure if it's going to come to anything. It might be mulch to do about nothing. Yeah. Okay. Let's sing. Bonnie Peggy Ramsey that any man can see, and Bonnie was a face with a fair and freckled eye. Neat is her body, made that she had good skill, and round out her bonny arms that work well at the mill. With a hatred lodel, hatred lodel, yeah. Bonnie Peggy Ramsey that works well at the mill. Well, some call her Peggy, and some call her Jean, but some calls her Midsummer, but they are all mistaken. Peggy, but Peggy is that bonny lass and works well at the mill. She will be occupied when others are still. Hey-trolodle, ho-trolodle, hey-trolodle, yeah. Bonnie Peggy Ramsey that works well at the mill. Bonnie Peggy Ramsey that any man can see, and Bonnie was a face with a fair and freckled eye, and neat as her body made, and she had good skin. Round are her bonny arms that worked well at the mill. With a hatred lodel, yeah. Bonnie Peggy Ramsey that worked well at the mill. Hey, hatred lodel, yeah. Bonnie Peggy Ramsey that works well at the mill. Thank you. And there are many other verses there that we will not do on this family-oriented show here. It's one of those songs. So that songs that get stuck in your head for sure. So, Janine, do you have another song that might get stuck in his head? But in our heads, why don't you first tell us though what this is? Shakespeare for all stages.
Yes, it is my little wee web business, my little presence there. I offer one-on-one coaching. I offer private tutoring. I love to work one-on-one. I really, really believe in the power of words and Shakespeare and verse, especially for young ones, and that is just being lost so fast in our culture. And so I have raised my little ones from birth to appreciate Shakespeare. My little 3-year-old recognizes Shakespeare anywhere. Shakespeare, mommy, your favorite. And they can say several little monologues and things. So I also love to work with adults. I hope to offer some classes for various ages and stages this summer.
Excellent. And that's just what you were saying, Rich, that it's not being offered and not being required for English majors anymore. So let's start them young. Shakespeare for all stages. And do you have a
And
song
it sure
that
was
might
in my
stick in my
day. In
head?
my day, they offered that stuff. Call me Rip Van Winkle. So how about singing us a song, Janine?
Yes.
All right. This is about a song that got stuck in someone else's head, but we're going to go a little melancholy here. My mother had a maid called Barbary. She was in love, and he she loved proved mad and did forsake her. She had a song of willow. An old thing 'twas, but it expressed her fortune, and she died singing it.
Mm.
That song tonight will not go from my mind. I have much to do but to hang my head all at one side and sing it, like poor Barbary. The poor soul sat sighing by a sycamore tree. Sing, oh, the green willow, her hand on her bosom, her head on her knee. Sing, willow, 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 willow. The fresh streams ran by her and murmured her moans. Sing, willow, willow, willow. The salt tears fell from her and softened the stones. Sing, willow, willow. They buy these. Sing, willow, willow. Hide thee, he'll come on. Sing, oh, the green willow must be my garland. Let nobody blame him. His scorn I approve. Nay, that's not next. I called my love false love. But what said he then? Sing, willow, willow, willow. If I court more women, you'll couch with more men. So get thee gone, good night. Mine eyes do itch. Let that bode weeping. And back to your regular scheduled programming.
What a wonderful addition, Bill and Janine, that Janine is to our little troupe here. Just terrific. The acting and the singing. I know you collect stamps, Janine, and I feel that philately will get me everywhere. But at any rate, terrific.
Bravo. Wonderful.
Bravo.
Wonderful.
Right.
Thank you.
So I think tough act to follow, but I'm happy to follow it. And Shakespeare and the language. Orson Welles once quipped, quote, "We now sit through Shakespeare in order to recognize the quotations." Unrivaled in so many other ways in matters verbal, Shakespeare is just unequaled as a phrase maker. And I can only do a small sampling offer here. But for example, all for one for all, and not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse, respectively, wrote Alexander Dumas in The Three Musketeers, and Clement Clarke Moore, somewhat disputed in The Night Before Christmas, or A Visit from St. Nicholas, as it was eventually first titled. But Shakespeare said them first: one for all, or all for one we gauge in The Rape of Lucrece, and quote unquote, not a mouse stirring in Hamlet. A student who attended a performance of Hamlet, Shakespeare's longest play, uncut 4 hours or more, and the greatest number of lines spoken by any character in a single play is Hamlet. He speaks quite a proportion. The greatest number, this is a nice trivia one, of lines spoken by a Shakespeare character is Jack Falstaff. The reason being that he is in 3 plays, and therefore he ultimately accumulates more than Hamlet in the 3. A student who attended a performance of Hamlet came away complaining just that the play was just a bunch of cliches. And the reason is so many memorable expressions have become proverbial because of Shakespeare's ear for what was going to be internal. So just from that one play, and believe me, I won't get them all, brevity is the soul of wit. Brevity is the soul of wit. There's the rub, to thine own self be true, it smells to heaven, the very witching time of night, the primrose path, though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Dog will have his day, not a dog will have its day. Dog will have his day, the apparel, not clothing. Oft proclaims the man, neither a borrower nor a lender be. Frailty, thy name is woman. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, more honored in the breach than the observance. Hoist with his own petard, that's blown up by his own bomb, incidentally. Piece of work, as in what a piece of work is man. The lady doth protest too much, to be or not to be, of course, sweets for the sweet, the be-all and end-all to the manner born, M-A-N-N-E-R, not O-R. It's not carried to the big house. It's, well, they're out getting drunk, Claudius and his ilk, and, they're just born to do that, and more in sorrow and in anger. So I'll be back shortly to do phrases from the other plays, and let us continue, please.
Yes, well, we will continue, and I want to just put up there the tip jar here, and I do appreciate a number of you people have given you their tips, and that helps keep the show going, and then he keeps some of the expenses there. And please do say hi. Pam is on. Hi, Pam. Thank you for coming on, and much applause from Pam. So say hello, and give us your chat. And by the way, we are going through Facebook and also YouTube with different channels here. So some of you will see some chats, but not all the chats. And we'll have to just take a chats on that, I guess. So
Hey, Bill, I'm delighted to hear about the tips. And I'm glad we didn't bring that little animal that we both liked, the rarey, because it's a long way to tip a rarey.
It is a long way.
It's a lot easier.
All right. Did you? But of course, you heard about the chicken that walked out of the production of Hamlet, right? You heard that they were going to murder most foul.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be sure to steal that.
Yeah, you do that there. For myself, I've been barred from making any more puns.
He's such a plucky guy.
Oh, yes. Oh, do you want to get into the chicken and egg jokes? I'm not sure which came first, but I've got a dozen of them.
Oh, yeah,
but let's get on. Let's let the lovely Janine sing us another song, and this is coming from Much Ado.
Much Ado, yes. I'd love to say a couple words about this one. This is Much Ado has a very special place in my heart, as I think it does for many people. It was the first production I ever saw live when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
Professional company came touring through my tiny little town in the Mississippi Delta. And when I saw that on stage, I was like, that's what I want to do. And I took a lot of detours, but I'm getting there.
I thought that was only 8 years ago that happened, Janine.
Yeah. Absolutely. It wasn't that long ago.
Age does not wither her, nor custom stale her. From Antony and Cleopatra, yes.
So it is no surprise that I still remember the version they did, which, as you'll see, is very simple. Might sound a little familiar to you, the tune. I just love this song. This is Sigh No More Ladies. And it is sung at the beginning of the Gulling of Benedict, if you're familiar with it at all. I feel like it's often overlooked that this is actually on the theme of Beatrice's perspective on Benedict, what he did. He did her wrong. We know from some other lines in the show. He did her wrong before the play began. So even though it's sung by some Balthazar, this random dude, I like to think of it as a woman's song. So here we go. Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One foot on sea and one on shore, to one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny. Hey nonny nonny, hey nonny no, hey nonny nonny, hey nonny no, hey nonny nonny, hey nonny no. Hey nonny nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more, a dump so dull and heavy. The thought of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny. Hey nonny nonny, hey nonny no, hey nonny nonny, hey nonny no, hey nonny nonny, hey nonny no. Hey nonny nonny nonny.
Lovely. Brava, brava. Wonderful again. Wonderful again. And I don't know if I said hello to Donna. I think I might have missed saying hello to Donna, but everyone else said. I think we've got there. That was wonderful. And I think next, as you know, we're going a little bit long here tonight because we've got so much material. And thank you all for coming with us again. This is the Bill Shipper Show, the Bill Shipper regular weekly show that we've brought in Dances with Words and Rich Lederer on it on a regular weekly basis, and that's every Tuesday night, 7:00 Central Standard Time or Central Time, and 5:00 Pacific Time, to be Pacific. And you can make sure you don't miss anything by going to billshipper.com and getting on that email list. You can get Bill Shipper CDs there. And you can get Rich Lederer books at verbivore.com. You can pick up about a baker's dozen of the 52 books that Rich has published already. Which book have you the most on Shakespeare on? Probably across several with
Word Wizard.
Word Wizard.
But again, if they want material on, Mike, it just happens to be there. I think the green one.
Amazing words there.
No. Okay. Well, at any rate, it's an anthology, Greek for Bouquet of Flowers. And we often go overtime just because we're so filled up with what we do and the magnificence of the subjects that we cover. It's lovely. So phrases part 2, I'm going to take a deep breath and you'll see why.
Mm-hmm.
The last presentation I did here was to do phrases from Hamlet. And now we're going to do the others, and it's going to be twice as long as that. Cudgel your brain, and you can append a small sample of time-honored, everyday idiomatic phrases from other Shakespearean plays that come full circle. Yes, that's his. If you knit your brow and wish that this wild goose chase would vanish in the thin air because it is Greek to you, you are to give the devil his due, quoting William Shakespeare in all his infinite variety. And that's all Shakespeare. Infinite variety happens to be from Antony and Cleopatra. And we all know in the play what Cleopatra sang when she clasped the asp to her bosom. You know what song she sang? Thanks for the memories. Da, 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 da.
Oh, yes. Sorry, another one that dates us, so we'll laugh to that one.
Yes, right. If you point the finger, yes, that's Shakespeare. At strange bedfellows and blinking idiots, you are converting Shakespeare's coinages into currency. If you have seen better days in your salad days, when you wore your heart on your sleeve and had a spotless reputation, you are, whether you know it or not, going from bard to verse. That's not Shakespeare, that last part. That's me. If you break the ice with one fell swoop, you ever wonder what fell means? It means felonious, and it is Macduff shouting at Macbeth in one felonious fell swoop, not swell foop, one fell swoop, you murdered all my pretty ones, my children. And now I'm not from woman born, as it turns out. Little bit of a cheap stage trick there. Now your time is coming. Let me see. If you never stand on ceremonies, if you play it fast and loose with bated breath, B-A-T-E-D, until the crack of doom. If you paint the lily, not gild the lily, that's from King John, paint the lily. If you hope for a plague on both houses, of course, Romeo and Juliet. If you are more sinned against than sinning because you have been eaten out of house and home, a sorry sight by your own flesh and blood, the most unkindest cut of all. If you haven't slept a wink and are breathing your last because you're in a pickle, in a pickle. How did he do that? In a pickle, because he's thinking of the brine and you're in there and it's smelly and all of that. If you carry within you the milk of human kindness and a heart of gold, even though you know that all that glisters is not gold, merchant of Venice, not glisten, glisters is not gold. If you laugh yourself in the stitches at too much of a good thing, if you make a virtue of necessity, if you know that the course of true love never did run smooth, and that discretion is the better part of valor, not the other way around, not valor, but discretion. If you kill with kindness, and if you won't budge an inch, why, if the truth be told, yes, that's Shakespeare. If the truth be told, and the truth will out, what the dickens, in a word, right on, be that as it may, the game is up. You are forever and a day, as luck would have it, standing on that tower of strength of phrase makers, whom no one can hold a candle to, William Shakespeare. And just one last thing to throw in. The knock-knock joke was the first, knock-knock, who's there? And Bill and I have done a bunch of those in our programs. That was the first formulaic joke that we know of, and it was in the 1920s, about 100 years ago in America. But Shakespeare invented it first. Act 2, Scene 3 of Macbeth. Knock, 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 who's there? Oh, this is the porter, of course, who's a comic character and doesn't speak in iambic pentameter. Knock, 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 who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Knock, knock, who's there in the other devil's names? Knock, 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 who's there? Never at quiet. And the point is, that is the first knock, knock jokes. You'd be amazed what the bard invented.
So knock, knock.
Who's there?
Thisbe.
Hisby, who?
Thisbe me.
Oh, Thisbe.
Thisbe. It didn't come through the audio here.
No, and I understand. Hey, Bill, I think you've been to Egypt to visit the pyramids.
Yeah.
Notice I had to tie it to Thisbe. If this be, God, Janine, you might know, if this be something, there is something upon it from some plane. I can't remember. Oh, well, it might come. You could probably just look it up. Okay.
All right. So in our great, highly coordinated flowing program, I think I'm next, right? Is that it?
I think yes, so.
As you all have noticed there, this is highly over rehearsed there. I think we know what we're doing on it, but we're having a lot of fun at it for sure. And we're going to move around here, shuffle the cards, shuffle the decks. And I think I'm going to remember just to go the right way here. And as you may have noticed, folks, I'm the only one not in costume. I don't have a Shakespearean costume, so I decided to wear my green sleeves because that came close. Green sleeves was one of the most popular songs of the period that survives. And Shakespeare mentioned it twice in The Merry Wives. Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously. and I have loved you so long, delighting in your company. Green sleeves was all my joy, green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady green sleeves? I have been ready at your hand to grant whatever you could crave. Both wagered, both life and land, your love and goodwill for to have. Green sleeves was all my joy, green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady green sleeves? Thou couldst desire no earthling, but still thou had it most readily. The music still to play and sing, and yet thou would not love me. Green sleeves was all my joy, green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves my heart of gold, and but my lady green sleeves. Well, I will pray to God on high that thou constancy mayest see, and yet that once before I die, thou wilt vouchsafe to love me. Green sleeves was all my joy, green sleeves my delight. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady green sleeves? Green sleeves was all my joy, green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady green sleeves? And I think there we go. There we go. We will go back here. I think I turned Janine off for a little bit.
No,
That's
with
it. You took-
the error, my computer was unplugged and died.
Oh dear. See, all this technology we need to worry about these days. So what's left? What's left? I think we asked at the beginning for questions on Shakespeare to address.
On
Any of them.
Shakespeare, yeah, or anything about language, but particularly Shakespeare, yeah. We'd love to have your questions. And
For
then
any of
on
us.
the authorship controversy, Bill, up to you, because it takes me a little while. I think we're rounding out the time beautifully.
I think so. And Arthur himself didn't log on tonight, so we. I'm sorry.
No, he sailed in because it was the authorship.
That was authorship. That's right. That's right. But friendship is the best ship.
Uh,
So anything. And now there's a little bit of a delay in the sound, so I'll give it another minute or so to see if anyone else has any questions on anything about Shakespeare, about language, about poker, about acting, about Shakespeare for all stages and education of the
about
young.
your writing and
Yeah.
publishing. I've done 52 books. Two
Mhm.
more I'm trying to sell right now. I think that'll be it. And it's
That's
a lot
right.
of fun.
Or if questions for me, it could be about music or about gardening.
Really?
About fencing. I mean, how to repair a fence.
Oh, okay.
I did it, yes, and of course the cast the gate aside, but we did
Oh.
that one. So
Well, he's a very cultivated guy with a
I-
fertile mind, and those all come from. Those are all Earth metaphors. We may do that another year. It just
Yes.
got so very close to the Bard's birthday and death day.
yes, well, of
Also,
course.
I'm
Now
sorry.
I do.
Yeah, Miguel Cervantes died on the same day as Shakespeare did. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say you were talking about a very earthly guy I am, because I do. I mean, I'm a singer. I do my composing of songs, but then I also have my
I
I do my decomposing too in the compost pile.
Right.
Yes, and Ken is holding me to it. I'm going to end the show going back to Tiny Boy, but before we end, we are going to do a very special sonnet about Shakespeare. That Richard.
Okay. So here's the story. I wrote. I'm very active with our Shakespeare Society, and I have always loved sonnets. They are in iambic pentameter, and Shakespeare really perfected the English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet. And iambic is an iamb is the dum. It's the smallest foot repeated element you can have in a poem, and there are 5 of them. Hence, iambic pentameter. Da 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 da. And the Romantic poets and so many people have written in iambic pentameter. And the reason why is that the iamb echoes, mirrors, reflects whatever the human heart. Our hearts go da-dum, 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 da-dum. And therefore, it's the easiest to write in. The others, incidentally, are trochee, anapest, and dactyls. We're not going to go into that here. But Shakespeare has 3 quatrains, meaning 4 of iambic pentameter, 4 lines, A, B rhyme scheme, then to C, D, E, F, and G, G. So I made up a sonnet about sonnets and about Shakespeare sonnets, 154 of them. And here we go. Bill provided the melody. I will do my best. We might sing it together, but we can't because of the technology. So you're left with this guy, as I say, with Van Gogh's ear for music. Our bard did not invent the stately sonnet, the 154 in his collection. Remade the vessel, thus improved upon it, and lit its form and function with perfection. He pours his thoughts on life and death and time. We're into the 2nd quatrain now. In 2, 3 quatrains and a couplet brief. To a youth fair and lady dark in rhyme, he sings of lust and love and joy and grief. To think that God once made a man like him, in such a miracle we all rejoice. His words fly up and reach a spatial rim. His sonnet trove proclaims his timeless voice. And now we go to the couplet, GG. Across 4 centuries, he calls us still. Our bard, our Shakespeare, our own living will. And if you would like a copy of that, not the singing, but the print, just there it is, richardhlederer@gmail.com. I'm probably 3 hours different and we're still on daylight saving time, not savings. It's not a bank account. Doesn't save any minutes or hours at all. So that is a sonnet about sonnets and Shakespeare sonnets.
Yes. No bank accounts, but the daytime, sometimes it can be interesting. We have an interesting comment from Charles Patton.
Oh, great. He's one of
many years. For many years, he says, I thought hoisted by your own petard was lifting yourself by your own boots, which was, I think, the common understanding of like lifting yourself, like the self-starter type of thing, until they learned that it meant by passing gas.
Yeah. The thing is, it's to see the engineer hoist with or by, I can't remember, his own petard. And so the idea is that the bomb that the engineer plants blows up and kills, well, him, presumably. And that has been pretty well researched. So, Charles, always a great question, part of our San Diego group. And Charles, I did send him a little bit ahead my stuff on Shakespeare, and I'll find out about that, I guess, next Thursday, how we enjoyed it, because we have a little Zoom with our group. But Charles, just great, and very much the engineer, incidentally, in
Mhm.
Charles's case, but he loves the humanities too. Yeah.
We have more shows coming up. And of course, the regular weekly Bill Shipper show every Tuesday, and it'll be just 1 week from tonight. And I think Rich is coming back on. I believe is it. I should have known this. May 11th. We're going to do the National Teachers Week. Yes, we do that.
So,
Rich is a former teacher by profession, but still teaching
yes.
all the time and teaching tonight, and just loves teaching.
You're hardly ever a former. If it is in the warp and woof of your fabric, you are always a teacher, a compulsive sharer. So we're going to be celebrating Teachers for National Teachers Week, generally the second weekend.
Yes, old teachers never die. They just lose their faculties. Is that correct? Right. Or,
that's very
that's
good.
The principles. That's
and you have heard about the teacher who, just as a little preview, the cross-eyed teacher, she couldn't control her pupils.
Oh, yes.
And I will explain 2 weeks from now why we have the same word for both the young student and the eye.
Okay.
Very interesting etymologically.
So we have Ken, our good friend Ken Schwartz is very eager to have either to have the show close or to hear this final song here. So I'm going to go back to it that I started with and saying, I love this tune. I'm going to keep it in my repertoire. When that I was a tiny little boy with a hey ho, the wind and the rain, a foolish thing was but a toy, for the rain it raineth every day. With a hey ho, the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day. Here you go, Ken. But I changed it, you see? An hour ago our program had begun with a hey ho, the wind and the rain, but that's all one. Our play is done, and we'll strive to please you every day. With a hey ho, the wind and the rain, and we'll strive to please you every day. With a hey ho, the wind and the rain, for the rain it raineth every day, and we're glad that you watch us every week. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Richard Lederer, and thank you, Janine Smith, for joining us from
Thank you.
Shakespeare for All Stages. Good night, everybody. See you next week.